All right, let's talk about something we've all stared at on a job application, completely stumped, the employer name field. I know, it sounds so simple, right? But as we're about to see, getting this tiny detail right can actually make a huge difference. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're just cruising through an application, name, check, address, check, and then bam, you hit employer name and you just stop. Wait, is it the brand name? The legal one? What about that company that got bought out last year? Yeah, we've all been there. So today, let's clear this up once and for all. And you really do want to take that extra second to get it right. Because this isn't just about, being tidy. Hiring managers, and maybe more importantly, those automated applicant tracking systems, the ATS, they rely on this info. A correct entry, that builds trust. A mistake? Well, that could cause delays or even get your application tossed out before a person ever even sees it.
Okay, so let's get right into it. First up, we're going to break down what they're really asking for with this question, and then we'll look at some of the most common ways people get tripped up.
So here's the bottom line. The key word is official. We're not talking about a cool brand nickname or the department you worked in. We're talking about the legal, official name of the organization that was signing your paychecks. Think of it as the one single, verifiable name for your workplace.
And believe me, it is surprisingly easy to mess this up. You might have worked at, say, International Business Machines, but literally everyone calls it IBM, so you write that down. Or maybe you were at a local franchise, but you list the big national brand instead. These little things, they can create real headaches during background checks and just make it harder for recruiters to confirm your experience.
All right, now let's flip the script for a second. Let's look at this from their perspective, the hiring manager's side of the table. What actually happens with this information after you click Submit? Once you understand that, you'll see why being accurate is just not optional. See, this one little field does 3 really important jobs. First, it's all about verification. It's the starting point for every single background and reference check. Second, it's about relevance. It tells a hiring manager instantly if you've got experience in their world. And finally, and this one's huge, is ATS compatibility. Those computer systems are scanning for specific keywords, and you can bet the correct employer name is one of the big ones. This quote really just nails it, doesn't it? It's not just about formatting, it's the actual foundation of your work history on paper. Getting it right shows you're a pro who pays attention to detail right from the get-go. Okay, so we get why it's so important, but how do you find the right name, especially if you're not 100% sure? No worries. We've got a simple, step-by-step playbook to make sure you get it right every single time. This is your 3-step foolproof plan. First, check your official documents. Things like pay stubs or a W-2 form are golden because they almost always have the official legal name. If you don't have those, no problem. Step 2 is to just do a quick online search for the company's registered name. Or, Step 3, just head over to their official website's About Us page or their LinkedIn profile. The answer is usually right there. Of course, it's not always that simple, is it? So now, let's dive into some of those trickier situations that can throw people off. We're talking company mergers, self-employment, all that good stuff. Okay, this is a big one. The difference between the company name and the employer name. The company name might be the huge brand everyone knows, but your employer name is the specific legal business that actually hired you. So if you worked at a local, independently owned franchise, your employer is that specific franchise, not the giant parent corporation. Oh, and what about when the company name changes? This happens all the time with mergers and acquisitions. The rule here is super simple. List the name the company had when you worked there. But then, to make it clear for the recruiter, just add the new name in parentheses right after it. Something like Creative Solutions, Inc., now Innovate Corp. But what if you're the boss? How do you list that? Well, it depends on how you're set up. If you have a registered business, like an LLC, use that official name. If you're a freelancer, just working under your own name, you can literally just put your full name or self-employed. And if you did contract work, you'll generally want to list the contracting agency or the main client that hired you. So let's pull all of this together. This isn't just about dodging mistakes. By really nailing the small detail, you can actually give yourself a quiet little professional edge in what's, let's face it, a pretty competitive job market. I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? When a recruiter sees an application where every little detail is spot on, it sends a really powerful message. It says you're careful, you're professional, and you have a strong work ethic.
It shows you actually care.
So, before you hit that submit button, just do a quick mental run through of this final checklist. 1. Proofread for any typos. 2. Always use the official name you found from a reliable source. 3. Make sure it's consistent everywhere, on your resume, your LinkedIn, all of it. And 4, if you're still a little unsure and the form has a spot for it, just add a quick note to explain.
And that's a wrap. Getting the employer name right is a perfect example of how a small detail can make a really big impact. So it kind of leaves you with a question to think about, right? What other small details in your professional story could you polish up to make sure you're really standing out? Thanks for tuning in.